Cynthia is a struggling entrepreneur trying to keep her small tech startup afloat. Her family is on the verge of financial ruin. Her younger brother Chris needs urgent surgery, and her bills are piling up. One evening, as she contemplates selling her prized laptop, she receives a mysterious call from Mr. Charles, an unknown caller. "I have a proposal for you," he says. "Marry Chief Vincent Briggs, a wealthy politician, for 1 year. The arrangement is purely transactional. No romance, just appearances. In exchange, you will receive enough money to cover all your debts and secure your family's future." "Shall we meet to discuss in more details?" Mr. Charles asked on the other end of the phone. The next evening, Cynthia meets Mr. Charles at a luxurious restaurant. His sharp suit and calm demeanor make him seem trustworthy, but his words drip with manipulation. "Chief needs someone presentable, intelligent, and discreet. You're perfect for the role. Sign the contract and your family's troubles will vanish." Cynthia looks at the sleek contract folder in front of her. Why me? I don't know the chief, and this sounds wrong. You need money. Chief needs a wife to secure his political image. It's mutually beneficial. Reluctantly, Cynthia signs the contract, sealing her fate. Life in Chief's mansion is luxurious but suffocating. Cynthia finds herself alone most days as Chief disappears for long stretches. The house staff watch her warily, and the surveillance cameras make her feel like she's always being monitored. One evening, she overhears Chief on the phone in his study. Project Kingslayer must be handled quietly, no loose ends. Cynthia steps into the room, her curiosity getting the better of her. "What's Project Kingslayer?" she asks. Chief looks at her coldly, his tone sharp. "Curiosity, Cynthia, can kill more than just the cat. Stay in your lane." She retreats, shaken but determined to uncover the truth. 6 months into the marriage, Chief hosts a grand dinner party. Later that night, Cynthia hears a loud thud and rushes to his study. She finds Chief slumped over his desk. Before she can process what's happened, the mansion's security bursts in. "Detain her! Don't let her leave this room!" Mr. Brown, the chief of staff, shouts loudly. Cynthia stammers in shock. Cynthia is arrested and interrogated. The police reveal that Chief was poisoned and that they found damning financial records in her name suggesting she embezzled money from his accounts. Cynthia realizes someone has gone to great lengths to frame her. In police custody, Cynthia meets Linda, a sharp-witted lawyer who sees through the narrative. "They want you to be the scapegoat, but I don't believe a word of it. You're going to tell me everything," Linda says to Cynthia. As they dig into the case, Linda contacts John, an investigative journalist she trusts. "John, I need your help. There's something bigger here. Chief wasn't just any politician. He was involved in something dark. Through their investigation, they discover that Chief was involved in illegal arms deals and had blackmailed powerful politicians. Project Kingslayer was a coup plan he had begun to sabotage, making him a target." John uncovers a chilling revelation. Mr. Charles and Chief's son, George, orchestrated the murder together. Meanwhile, Mr. Charles meets the authorities with a signed affidavit stating that Cynthia had no motive to kill Chief. He used his political connections to expedite her release, presenting himself as someone genuinely concerned for her well-being. Mr. Charles comes to visit Cynthia in custody, claiming he wants to help her clear her name. "You see, Cynthia," he said as they were out of the police station, "I always keep my word. I told you I'd look out for you. Now you can go home, thanks to me." Cynthia, suspicious but desperate, accepted the help. Linda, however, wasn't fooled. She pulled Cynthia aside after the release. "He didn't help you out of the goodness of his heart. Watch your back, Cynthia. He's working for someone." John and Linda meet Cynthia after her release to let her in on what they had discovered. "Mr. Charles planted evidence to frame you, Cynthia. And George? He's the mastermind. He wanted his father out of the way to claim his inheritance and political power." After their meeting, Cynthia barges into George's office and yells at him. "How dare you do this to your father and myself? I will report you to the authorities." George denies it and tries to calm her down, but she storms off angrily. George invites Cynthia to a reconciliation meeting under the guise of wanting to clear the air. Suspicious but determined, she agrees. At the meeting, George smiles confidently. Let's bury the hatchet, Cynthia. You've been through enough. Cynthia notices the subtle tension in his tone and the menacing presence of armed guards nearby. Before anything can happen, her phone buzzes with a message from John. Leave now. It's a trap. She barely escapes as the guards close in, thanks to John, who intercepts one of the hitmen. After the incident, Cynthia, Linda, and John worked tirelessly to gather evidence. Financial records, secret communications, and witness accounts all pointed to George and his co-conspirators. The team planned a dramatic reveal, a live expose during a high-profile political gala that would have George in attendance. On the day of the gala, Cynthia stood on stage, trembling but determined, as the evidence played on screens for the entire country to see. These are the people who murdered Chief Vincent Briggs, she said, her voice steady. And they framed me to cover their tracks. The room erupted into chaos. George tried to flee but was arrested along with several powerful politicians. With her name cleared, Cynthia found herself a free woman again. The ordeal had changed her, but it also gave her purpose. She started a foundation to help women who were wrongfully accused and rebuilt her tech business, this time focusing on cybersecurity. As she walked through the bustling streets of Lagos, the sun warm on her face, she smiled for the first time in a long time. She wasn't just the woman who survived the scandal. She was the woman who fought back and won,